morning. My name's Ray. I'm with Team S.T.E.A.M. And this morning I'm here at Flash Industrial Painting, where the boys and I are getting ready to take on a procedure involving this 2012 379 Peterbilt, the parameters of which will involve us completing quite a few tasks in not that many hours. Or maybe you can't see, but this is bowed in quite a bit. 3 or 4 inches maybe even more. Especially at the bottom, the whole thing is bowed in. And as a result, it's got this trying to go bulbous here on the fender, which the fender we're not replacing or repainting. We're just going to remove it, probably, when we remove this panel, and the brace behind this panel is all bent up too. We're gonna have to replace the brace and both of these panels, hunk rivet them in, paint them to match the truck, and then reinstall the fender. Possibly the headlight, but I'm not sure on that. But as you can see, or maybe you can't see in the video very well, but it is very damaged. What happened was this truck got jackknifed, and when it got jackknifed, it really messed the hood up. I mean, it tweaked the entire hood over this way a long ways, and it really messed it up. As you can see, there's over an inch gap between here and the flare. There's supposed to be a 3/4 inch gap between here and the actual cab housing itself, but between the cab housing itself and here at the moment is probably 2.5 inches. However, before we get ourselves too involved and start tearing this guy apart, we need to get some boxes open and make sure we've got the right parts. So we're getting some of these parts pulled out. And the first thing I'm going to want to do, here's the top of the hood panel. I'm going to want to get some measurements, make darn sure it's the right one before we get everything torn apart. There's the inner bracing. And here's the side panel. We'll get some measurements and we'll make darn sure these guys are all the right ones before we proceed. So here's what the inside of the hood looks like. It's that brace, the panel that goes on the other side of it, and that entire panel. And as you can see, it's behind that big top brace. It's got the spring that holds the hood connected to it. It's got both those stoppers that hold the hood aligned connected to it. There's a lot of stuff that's got to come off here. We got to take it away from the main hood brace, the hinge itself as well. So those things will all have to be taken off. We'll have to cut the back side of every involved rivet, and we'll take a closer look and see which rivets are actually involved, especially these all the way around. I have a chrome rivet kit for a 379 already ordered and set aside for this job. I actually have 2 of them because I had a spare to start with. All these rivets on this side, we have to cut the back side. Well, there's shop foreman Kevin back again to make sure we do a good job and stay on task. Now I've removed these stoppers off of that side, and now I'm getting ready to remove the spring off of that side and the actual cable off of that side as well. At this point, we're going to remove this panel. You'd think we could remove this panel and the brace and this panel all together, but that's not going to be possible. We need to remove this panel first so we can get to the back side of the rivets in that big main brace, and in doing so, then we can release this inner panel. Down at the end of the truck somewhere. Okay, now that we've got this panel removed, we'll go ahead and get rid of these 8 rivets from the back side, and then we'll go ahead and unbolt where that spring catch is and where the cable catch is, so they can be put on the new panel. All right, now we got this brace out of here. Now all we got to do is finish removing that other top panel, and we'll have the entire thing apart. All right, and at this point, I'm going to take this new inner brace panel and install it. But before I do, and it's a good thing I looked, I realized that PACCAR, the original equipment manufacturer that made this and sold it for a pretty good price, didn't include a single nutsert in it. They just expected whoever was going to install it to get out their own nutserts, their own nutsert gun, assuming they had one, and install all 9 nutserts on this that you would think would just be in here. You would think that they would have just installed them themselves. That way they could more easily warranty their product and everything else, but they did not. There's just empty holes everywhere. Now it's up to me to figure out what nutserts go in them and install them. So I'll be doing that before I can go ahead and install this panel. All right, well, it's a good thing I had a lot of nutserts and equipment to install nutserts sitting around, because this panel was missing 13 nutserts that were absolutely imperative to be installed before it was installed. So PACCAR really dropped the ball on that one. But anyway, I got that done. I've got it hung up here. Now I'm going to install these first 10 huck rivets to hold this inner brace to this inner brace. Then I'm going to put windshield urethane on all of the flanges where this panel will touch the outer panel. Then we'll install the outer panel. Then we'll begin to install all the rest of the huck rivets that hold the panels together and hold them to the truck itself, like right here on the grill chrome. Okay, I've got it all riveted on. Now I'm going to take my windshield urethane and I'm going to put it on all these flanges that we've prepped. You can see we've sanded them with a DA sander with 180 grit after we wiped this whole thing down with thinner, because it had grease and other stuff on it from the factory. And then once I get that all gooped up, then we'll go ahead and get the outer panel and get it stuck to it. At this point, as you can see, we've got this side of the hood masked up, the grill masked up, the cow catcher masked up, threw some tarps over the wheels, plastic over the rest of the truck, you know, some sheets, I guess, instead of tarps over all this stuff here. So now we're ready to go ahead and get this thing primed and painted. All right, we got everything prepped, got everything sanded, scratched, blown off, went ahead and primed it. The primer had time to cure. Now we're going to go ahead and get this guy painted. Alright, as you saw, we got this shot yesterday, and this morning the boys are going to be here any minute. We're going to go ahead and get this all unmasked, get the headlight, the fender put back on, get it all put back together. Okay, we got it all unmasked. Now we're just going to go ahead and get it all put back together. That about does it for this guy. As you can see, we got the panels all replaced, we got the inner bracing replaced, we got the fender reattached, we got everything else, the hood catch, the emblem, we got everything that needed to be reattached, closed it, adjusted it, and now this truck's ready to hit the road again. This is a 2012 Peterbilt 379. And as you saw, the hood was absolutely twisted and bent. This truck had been jackknifed. That was the problem. But we replaced the panels and all the bracing, reattached everything, reshot it. Now it's ready to go. All right, well, that about does it for this guy. Hey, if you like this video, you should take the time to hit the like button. That's going to help me grow my channel. And if you want a more in-depth look at what goes on around here, come over to Facebook and see me at Flash Industrial Painting. And if you like this video, or you want to see more videos like this, or domestic auto body, or art, or gardening, or any of the things we do around here, you might as well just take the time to hit the subscribe button, because, you know, we always got something going on. We'll see you guys around.